In the NBA, there are winners, there are losers, and then there are the Charlotte Hornets. For some teams, like the lottery-blessed San Antonio Spurs, everything they touch seems to turn to gold. Everything the Hornets touch turns to mush. The 2023 NBA Draft and the fallout from it confirmed what most of us already knew. The Hornets are the league's worst-run team. In the nearly 2 decades since the NBA moved back to Charlotte following the relocation of the original Hornets franchise to New Orleans, the Bobcats turned Hornets have set the standard for futility. Charlotte owns the 3rd worst record in the association since 2004, an East worst winning percentage of .403. The Hornets also own the league's longest active playoff drought and are one of only 3 franchises that haven't won a single playoff series since the league expanded to 30 teams.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
The other 2 teams on that list, and the only 2 to post worse records than Charlotte since the city got its team back, are Sacramento and Minnesota. But the Kings and their long-suffering fans are currently riding the high of an invigorating 48-win campaign that captivated the association. While the Timberwolves can at least say they're going for it, even if they've gone about it in the wrong way. Heck, even annual clown shows in Washington and New York have seemingly gotten their acts together. The Wizards have finally ripped the Band-Aid off and committed to a rebuild under new president Michael Winger, while the Jalen Brunson-led Knicks are coming off the franchise's first playoff series victory in a decade. Some of Charlotte's failures can simply be chalked up to rotten luck. Contrast the Hornets' lottery fortunes to the Spurs, for example. When San Antonio missed the playoffs for only the 2nd time in the team's first 11 seasons as an NBA franchise, the Spurs won the David Robinson lottery. When, in 1997, the Spurs missed the playoffs for the first time in 8 years due to a Robinson injury, San Antonio won the Tim Duncan sweepstakes. And of course, mired in the franchise's longest postseason drought, a whopping 4 years, the Spurs won the right to select French phenom Victor Wembanyama in 2023. The Hornets, on the other hand, have missed the playoffs 16 times in 19 seasons without even a fraction of that lottery luck. Notably, the Hornets won the 2nd overall selections in lotteries that determined the fates of Wembanyama and Anthony Davis, the latter of which came after Charlotte stumbled through the worst season in NBA history. The Spurs obviously wouldn't be the Spurs had they ended up with number 2 picks Armin Gilliam and Keith Van Horn rather than Robinson and Duncan. But the Hornets have also done plenty to shoot themselves in the foot. For one, after losing out on AD, they didn't have to draft the wonky shooting Michael Kidd-Gilchrist over Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard. They didn't have to give Tyrese Thomas big money back in the day. They didn't have to keep doubling down on the Kemba Walker era even as it became obvious a reset was needed. I could go on, but you get the picture. So you can understand why just a week after taking a job to coach one of the league's most exciting young talents in LaMelo Ball, Kenny Atkinson backed out of his commitment to the Hornets before coaching a single game.
Get me out of here!
Now, off-court issues outside of Charlotte's control played a part in the team's undoing after building momentum with Ball. Most notably, budding star Miles Bridges was arrested for felony domestic violence, a charge to which he ultimately pled no contest. Bridges, a restricted free agent who still has to serve 10 games of his 30-game suspension, hasn't played since April of 2022. But again, the Hornets have done nothing to earn the benefit of the doubt, particularly when you consider that just a year after dealing with the Bridges scandal, and with Scoot Henderson still on the board, the team decided to use the number 2 overall pick in 2023 on Brandon Miller. While at Alabama, police alleged Miller brought a teammate's gun that eventually became a murder weapon to the scene, though he faces no charges in the case. That 2023 draft may prove to be Michael Jordan's last act as Charlotte's top decision maker, as his heiress is completing a sale of the team he first bought into back in 2006 and one he took majority control over in 2010. Should Miller's career pale in comparison to Henderson's, it would be just the latest stain on Jordan's resume as a team decision maker. Kwame Brown, anyone? But even if Miller proves to be the correct choice, there are still questions to be asked about the way Jordan's Hornets went about the selection. The Blazers were obviously enamored with Scoot before he fell to them at number 3. Could the Hornets not have traded down and extracted something of value from Portland while still ending up with their preferred pick of Miller? A sharper organization would have found a way to do just that. But as Hornets fans have unfortunately come to learn over the last couple decades, there's the way smart teams do things, and then there's the way Charlotte goes about its business. The Miller pick disappointed fans so much, even a defeated Hugo the Hornet broke character.
The Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller.
If Hugo and those poor Hornets fans were looking for some kind of draft night reassurance from the team, they sure as hell didn't get it from general manager Mitch Kupchak, who had this to say when asked a very simple question. What made Charlotte comfortable with Miller at number 2?
Well, everything that every answer we got to every question. I would say, he is a freshman, right? So, he's a little bit, I would say younger than, I wouldn't say younger. I bet not even go that direction, actually. I'll just back off.
Look, things can change quickly in the NBA. If Ball stays healthy, he's good enough to lift Charlotte to respectability on his own. The Hornets do have some young talent around him, and the team can still add high draft picks over the next couple years. Though they do owe San Antonio a lottery-protected pick that could become 2 future second-rounders. But the East continues to improve. LaMelo's missed more than 30% of games in his 3-year career, and the next couple draft classes are projected to be some of the weakest in recent memory. Given Charlotte's luck, watch them finally win the lottery in a year with no transcendent franchise changers on the board. Then again, the Hornets would probably screw it up regardless. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.